15 years with the CrossFit Games, Dave had a vision and a style that was evident, and it pushed athletes to unprecedented levels. This will be the first year that Boz's style and his interpretation of what we all know to be true about core CrossFit will be on display.
It's been a pretty, let's just say, publicly scrutinized year, and like it or not, I'm at the top of that as far as the public perception is concerned. And so if it sucks, a lot of that's on me.
Ready on the timer?
So, no pressure.
Starting in 3, 2, 1, go.
I think what the athletes are going to find this year is a return to the fundamentals of what we've always done, but also a
sprint down, touch this wall.
Unique Boz spin on the way things are going to be brought to the table.
We'll just keep going until you're like, I think I've had enough, or I can't do it.
I have this feeling that it's just gonna feel very different.
When the top of your head reaches into the white, you've reached depth and you can come back to lockout.
I'm really excited to see how the athletes
lower, Bill.
react to the physical challenges that he's presenting to them, because frankly, I think some of them are gonna really be challenges.
So the way this is gonna play out on the field is exactly like this. I got ideas. I got ideas.
I'm sure there will be some differences, but we don't know what those differences are, so playing the what-if game and this guessing game, it could keep you up at night if you let it.
Maybe he's gonna be true to his roots as a circus artist and do a lot of gymnastic stuff, or maybe he knows that we know, and then he's gonna throw in a lot of other opposing things.
He's been around for a long time, and I'm expecting to see a lot of CrossFit. It's the CrossFit Games.
You should have been thinking about this in your training, and maybe you were, but probably you weren't.
Last year, we got back together. This year, we get back to business as usual. We are in Madison, Wisconsin at the 2022 NOBULL CrossFit Games.
If someone's never seen the games before, it's a challenge to describe.
And Annie Thorsdottir has it.
The most well-rounded, complete test of fitness in the world.
The CrossFit Olympics, that's the easiest way to put it.
Score one for the youngsters. Mal O'Brien will win.
It's such a broad spectrum of skills and abilities and capacities. The athletes that show up here are not just competent, they are excellent at a number of things, and more so every single year.
Tia hits it. Wow.
It tests you in all areas of fitness, from strength to
swimming, biking, running, obstacle course racing, or
gymnastics, weightlifting.
Anything and everything that can test your level of fitness.
It's an opportunity to actually see if we can't find weaknesses in athletes, but also watch athletes perform at the highest level.
This is world-class fitness in 100 words on display.
First thing he asked me is, what's the Wi-Fi password? Not even, hey, hello, how are you doing? Haven't seen you. Haven't seen you in 6 months. Good to see you too.
I think last year I was just like so nervous. I kind of was like blocking out stuff. I feel like I can really like soak it in this year. Like this type of stuff, I'm not like, oh, I'm so scared and all this stuff. I feel a little more calm about it.
You're looking at the oldest competitor in the competition.
the best genetics here, minus the masters, but you know.
3, 2, 1. Hold that for me, please.
That's pretty good. I feel like last year, you don't really know what you're missing out on because I didn't get to do it. But now that I do get to do it, I'm like, oh, like this part is like really fun.
Thank you. I'm gradually going into it. It's like I'm just going mustache heavy for a while.
Yeah.
And then we'll
gotta get a quality before you. Nothing worse than a half grown in mustache.
Exactly.
Just look like a fool.
Here he is. Hello, bro.
Oh, pretty good.
Good to see you. Yeah, good, man.
Ricky, how does it feel walking in those doors?
Yeah, it's good, man.
Yeah.
Excited. A few butterflies, but no, it's good. It's just grateful to be here and excited to be back.
It's been a while.
Yeah, been a long time. Now that I'm here, it doesn't actually feel too long. It's been 5 years, so nah, man, I'm pumped. Can't wait.
So in 2017, Ricky Garard was a sensational rookie. He ended up finishing 3rd place at the CrossFit Games. After the CrossFit Games, we were informed that Ricky had failed this drug test, and so we removed him from the leaderboard. We took back his 3rd place finish, And then Patrick Vellner ended up occupying that podium position.
Been there for about a month now, so more settled in.
This is unprecedented. He was gone 4 years, and he's back. We've never seen it before. We've never seen an athlete who's tested positive for PEDs come back. I look at it as this unbelievable redemption piece, and being in the depths of despair after what happened and to be able to climb out of it, I think it's a hell of a success story.
At the time it happened, I thought it was the end of the world, but now that I'm here in this position, I feel like in a way it was kind of meant to be, and it taught me a lot of things about myself, and I feel like I wouldn't be the man that I am today without that experience, and I've just become a such more honest and appreciative sort of person, and I'm a lot more grateful for the things around me and the people in my life.
It's no small feat to qualify for the games once, much less twice over the span of 5 years. He made a mistake, and he's also served the penalty for that. And so I think this is a community that's all about, progress and moving forward, and I think the community will embrace that.
It takes, a lifetime to build trust and just a moment to destroy it. So I think Ricky was obviously going to be fighting an uphill battle, and will be for a long time, to regain the trust of, the community is one thing, but I think the athletes, it might take a little longer.
Pull your toes around right here. Go ahead and rotate your feet and your hips towards me.
Now he's back on the platform actually competing. Some people are very excited about it and some are not, and that's okay. I think he's tough enough, he's gritty enough, focused enough to walk through that. And this community has a very low tolerance for distrust, and I think right now what he's trying to do is perform at his best and earn the trust back of the community. But it's not going to be easy.
To be honest, I never really was too bothered about how I was going to be perceived from the fans and what their reactions or interpretations of me was going to be, because it wasn't going to stop me, and I had one goal and one dream to get back to the CrossFit Games and podium, and I wasn't letting anyone stop me.
He's excited to be back, ready to get this first one started and kick off the weekend.
Think back to 2017 during the cyclocross event. That was Ricky Garard's event win. And he is back for the first time since 2017.
This has been his life's goal, to get back here. And now you have an event that he can potentially win. The stakes are high and the pressure is on.
The 2022 NOBULL CrossFit Games are underway. The athletes sprinting to the rig where they will complete 75 toes to bar.
You got to get off the rig early, probably earlier than you want to, but you got a 5-mile break for your grip going into chest to bar pull-ups.
6 men in that lead pack, from Medeiros, Lazar Jukic, and Krennikov. And here comes Ricky Garard behind them. Lazar Jukic and Jonakoski are dueling for the lead right now. Koski is done, and he will be the first man back to the bike. The second straight year, Jonakoski is all by himself. Haley Adams is off the bike, and Tia Toomey and Emma Lawson are right behind her. This could come down to a foot race after all of that. This has got to be a mistake for Spencer Panchik. He's running across the finish line.
I don't know what's happening right now.
Jukic is going to turn around. There is some confusion here.
You guys missed the lap. You guys got 4 and they're doing 5. Obviously, we don't want to speculate, but those athletes completely missed a lap. Koski should get an event win here, but is that Ricky Garard?
So there's some confusion here. We'll have to get this all sorted out.
Either he did 6 or we did 4.
Sorry about that. Hey man, honest mistake. It happens. You guys missed that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I just followed Ricky in, or me and Ricky were on the same. Then he went in front of me, and then he went in, and I was like, well, dude, if he's going in, I'm going in, Dude,
did you just write that shit? I think so. They asked me for an interview, and then that's what I said. I was like, I think they're interviewing. Did they interview you? No, they put a bail on. No one come and grab me. So that was for the win.
Oh, you got it. 100 points today.
That was for the win.
Make your penalty.
what a turn of events. It's not always going to be like that, so you got to take those opportunities when they come.
Yeah, apparently there's a rumour people thought I did 4 laps as well, but if I did 4 laps, then Justin did 4 laps, Jeffrey and Roman did 4 laps, because we all literally rode together the whole time. I think just the way the broadcasting was on Yona the whole time, it just looked like he was way out in front and had left everyone for dead. I actually seen Yona up ahead, like off his bike running into the stadium, and I was like, oh crap, I've caught him. When we got into the stadium, I realised his lane was way over the other end and my lane was pretty close. So I literally just put my head down and sprinted to the line. And
Race to the finish.
And found out later that I actually got the 100 points, and the other 2 guys had taken a lap short.
What do you guys think? Rob, you were there?
Yeah, so they were both told to stay on the field by myself, a marshal with a flag, and Jason, and they rode over the yellow line and then they jumped off. Their transition was wrong as well, so they were racing each other at that point. They were just
Trying to assess exactly where you go with a penalty like that was a very difficult challenge. What we did was we looked at the 5 rounds that athletes were doing across the board.
They got faster each round.
They did. And what we determined would be the fairest thing for those athletes was to take the slowest lap time that they had and apply that directly to their 5th round.
This is not on the course officials. You were briefed very clearly. You were responsible for your lap count.
Now, that may not sound like a penalty, but almost every one of the athletes got faster every round that they actually did the loops. So it's reasonable to assume that that last lap probably would have been as good as the 4th lap, maybe even faster based on what we saw. And so the suggestion we came up with was to take the slowest lap and apply that there. And it would cover not only the time frame, make it accurate for each athlete, but it would also cover any additional penalty because it was their slowest time.
Boz programmed the CrossFit Games this year, and in my eyes, and frankly, people on my team will tell you this, when the change was made at the beginning of the season, there were lots of people that I talked to right away that I said immediately, there is no one but Boz that can do this job.
When you're the lead programmer for the CrossFit Games, in essence, you become a coach to the fittest people in the world. Because you're setting the standard that they need to be prepared for, and you're showing them what's going to be expected.
I never doubted that I was qualified to do it. I don't think anybody else is more qualified. I put my CrossFit resume up against anybody.
First thing we're going to look at is that static position. So what does that mean? So now she's moving, she's got the swing going on, and it all leads back to Y4 range of motion because we can better support both sides of the joint, right?
Worked for the seminar team. I've helped to develop the instructional materials that we have. I've developed our staff. I've flown all over the world. I've coached at affiliates. I've been coached at affiliates.
Hey judges, everybody start standing until go.
I've been part of the game since the 2nd year in 2008, so this is my 15th season.
So we're in the Coliseum, it's Monday afternoon. We did a full rehearsal in Columbus with all the workouts, with all the head judges and a fresh demo team. Here we're retesting a lot of those to make sure the time cap and stimulus is right now that we've arrived on campus.
Shoulder stand is not really that hard to get into. Right. And you can press out that way.
All these guys are going to be so confident with the barbell, but they're so used to like, oh, I'm just going to pace and do all my stuff the way that I want to do it. You don't have time to pace the bar on this if you want to have enough time to finish on the pin. So you have to rip on this lightweight for those top athletes. You know, for the top athletes, they're going to look at this and say 135, really? Okay, cool, go fast, because you're going to need it over here.
Good, let's go, minute to finish.
Boz has such an individual and unique kind of physical training background. You know, having been trained as a circus performer for years in San Francisco, and the unique twist that I think that gives him when he sort of sees these things.
I'm excited to see how these guys pick up the jump rope skills. I think this is one of those classic things if you've been around CrossFit for a long time. And the adaptability, most of these athletes have not trained for it that are on the demo team. And so seeing how quickly they pick it up and then comparing that to how the games athletes do. So Boz is doing it right now.
Seeing the athletes go through it and hearing their feedback, that's when it was real, and that's where I thought, okay, I think we have something here. The athletes were great. I mean, they had so much feedback, and I told them, I said, hey, you guys have to tell me if it sucks. Like, it can't suck, it's gotta be great. And if you're not hyped on what you're doing here, let me know so that we can make it better.
My shoulders felt so heavy. Oh my God.
Way to go.
That's gonna be so tough.
All right, your briefing in here is going to be event number 3 and event number 4. We're going to do the exact same thing that we've done before. We'll walk through the flow, we'll hit the standards, and I'll walk through the flow one more time. We're doing some pegboard, we're doing some jump rope, we're doing some pistols, and we're doing some handstand walk. We're doing that for 3 opportunities, but we're going to go from a quarterfinal to a semifinal to a final round. The skills will increase as we go throughout.
I can imagine that some of the athletes were probably not extremely happy about some of the tests, for sure. But again, that's what makes what we do here unique. It's not necessarily giving you exactly what you want. It's a test of fitness, and the test of fitness has to encompass things that, again, challenge you beyond your previous level of fitness.
I need the rope to cross once while going under the body twice.
Across the field, what you saw was people trying to figure these things out on the floor.
Event number 3, which is now the second event of the day, we're taking a traditional barbell speed ladder and we're gonna twist it.
It's a roll of the dice. It could be a really cool event or it could be a total dud. But you have to run the experiment sometimes.
Under the pegboard to start things off.
75 reps unbroken. They miss at 74. They have to start all the way over.
And Toomey just tripped.
No.
Toomey's back to 0.
It was just so nerve-wracking, that event, because everyone can do those skills, but if you make one mistake, like, that could be huge.
And Emma Lawson has fallen, and that will open the door to Mal O'Brien.
Oh my
And Tia Toomey
goodness.
does not move on.
It's going to put some pressure on Tia to come and blast it tonight. 23rd's not going to feel good for her.
But Tia Toomey with a rare stumble. Final heat underway. Danielle Brandon is done first. Now on to the jump rope. 25 double unders with the crossover. They do not need to be unbroken.
These athletes are so incredible with what their range is, and I really respect that.
All the women here are just trying to figure out how to string a couple reps together. Danielle Brandon looked like she was in a good rhythm early on.
It's not my job to embarrass somebody and make them look foolish. Challenge them, yes. Are they going to have struggle? Yes. Are there going to be certain things that stop them? Yes. But you never want them to look silly.
And it looks like Fuliano did get through all of those double unders, so Elisa Fuliano may have just won that event.
There was a lot of challenges in that workout because we introduced new skills, the pistols with the no touch, the skipping rope with the double under crossover. We had seen the women go first and nobody get past that. So the guys were kind of like, all right, well, we'll see, just kind of chip away at it.
Woo! Men's turn. Good luck, boys.
This lets a handful of athletes among the top 5 in each division show that they can quickly pick up new skills on the fly.
Nick Matthew has figured this out.
Okay. Okay, Nick Matthew. Somewhere in the crowd is a happy, smiling Adrian Bozman after what Nick Matthew just did with those crossovers.
In that case, I think the test was a success for that reason. It really did highlight the guy that he could do it all. And he really saved the day there. I was like, I just need one to finish. I just need one person to do it, and then it'll be great.
Nick Matthew is going to win event number 3.
Credit to a guy like Nick Matthews. Not only was he good at the strict pegboard, the handstand skills, but then he could come and show the jump rope skill, and then he could come and show that press to handstand. So he truly did have it all.
Two heats down, 2 to go here, and Elizabeth elevated its event 4 for the individuals, the 3rd and final event that they are doing today.
So I think Boz will do things this year that are risky to pull off in an environment like this. He'll also do some things that are original. They're based on who he is and what his experience in the CrossFit world and his fitness journey has been. But more than that, I think the most exciting parts of this year's test will be the return to basics.
Elizabeth is hard enough, Sean, but you got these full squat cleans as they should be and have always been. But the parallel bars, something that has been a staple in the original CrossFit gym and used for training, is now rearing its head again nearly 20 years later.
There are elements that are new, there's elements that are different and stylistically his own, but more than anything, he's really drilling back into the basics and some of the OG CrossFit knowledge base, and I think that's going to be fun to see this new class of athletes go back to.
Look at the speed of Vellner on these traverses. We haven't seen anybody move at that speed.
Tia-Clair has fallen back into 5th place as Danielle Brandon has continued to charge up the standings here. She now sits in a battle for 2nd with Mal O'Brien and Christy O'Connell.
If anybody's been following the CrossFit Games for years, you know that every year is different, and every year has some very unique elements, some stuff we've never seen before, some new challenges for athletes. Boz has kind of put his own stamp on those unique elements. I'm really excited to see how the athletes respond to the physical challenges that he's presenting to them, because frankly, I think some of them are gonna really be challenges.
The crowd comes to its feet as Ariel Lowen is on her final set of 3, and Ariel Lowen has an event win in Madison. Christy O'Connell, Danielle Brandon, and Mal O'Brien fighting for 2nd. And O'Brien is across. And Pat Vellner is going to win event number 4 and lock up 100 points. And look out, Vellner is on the charge.
I think it's safe to say day 1 of the games was chaos. Everyone was wondering how would Boz put his fingerprint and stamp on the CrossFit Games as a programmer. We got a pretty clear answer right out of the gate. And some athletes were able to execute, and others that we expected to do well didn't. And as a result, they were in some very unfamiliar territory on the leaderboard.
Tia-Clair having a very un-Tia-like first day.
Honestly, looking forward and knowing we have 4 more days of this, I think everyone is excited to see how these athletes respond. Day 1, you got roughed up a little bit. Let's see how you bounce back.
Next time on Miles to Madison.
Nice day for a run, man. Beautiful course.
I don't think we've ever had anything this epic.
This was our Super Bowl. It was an amazing undertaking.
So many fans were there.
Here comes mayhem, Rich Froning and company. Lauren Fisher is still struggling for Reykjavik.
I didn't come here for this.
Just felt like the whole season was falling apart.
This is our Friday night event. People are going to hate it.
What the hell is this?
If you're going to compete at the CrossFit Games, you have to be prepared for all versions of these movements.
Why don't we switch? Are we called an audible?
Tola Moraqueño just put 405 pounds in the air.
Let's go! Who doesn't love a comeback story, right?